Everyone, my name is Colin, and I am the guy who founded slash developed BotBro. You can call me whatever you want, founder, developer, who cares? And this video is kind of intended to be a demo slash overview of what BotBro is, what it can do, what it can't do, who's it for, who's it not for, all that sort of stuff, to kind of give you an idea of if it's something that you're interested in, or if you already have it and you don't know how to use it. Hopefully, this will help you too. So first things first, kind of high level context. You can find BotBro at botbro.io. So if you're seeing this landing page, you're in the right spot. And you can download it right there. You can download it for Windows. You can download it for Mac. You'll get an installer. You can run the installer and set up. You should know how to do that. So I'm not gonna walk through that part of it. But if you get an error for Mac whenever you try to open it, just heads up, it's probably because of your like security settings, and you can just Google that error and probably unblock yourself there. But I'm also not gonna spend time doing that because most people are using this on Windows anyways. So sorry, Mac users, but you'll have to figure that one out on your own. So BotBro is a botting tool, right? As the name implies, as the site suggests, you can sort of see, oh, look, it's navigating, targets, checkout, whatever. Yeah, so it's a botting tool. But what makes it different from other botting tools, and in some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse, is that it is AI centric, right? So instead of it being hard coded specific to certain websites, it is basically taking what's on the page, sending it to a model like GPT-4 or something else, and basically letting the AI, based off of your instructions, decide what actions it should take. So that's really good because it means that it works on basically every website out there. But it's also, downside, a little bit slower than like a traditional bot that like scalpers would use to try to get dozens of items. This isn't that. This isn't going to get you dozens of items, and it's not supposed to. I don't want it to. This is kind of intended for your like everyday Joe Schmo who is just trying to get an item that they actually want, and this can hopefully help you get one or two items for yourself without having to sit at your computer all day long. So that's that. Let's just look at it. So I've written some very basic instructions to it. Search Google for botbro.io and find the latest blog post. And I've started it. So you will see that it will open a browser. Hands off keyboard. This isn't me. It'll open a browser. Once it loads, it'll search for botbro.io. You can see a little bit of the highlighting that's going on to show you what like the AI is looking at. You can see it's looking around. I told it to find the latest blog post, so it knows to click on the blog thing. And then, okay, it's gone to the blog. It's trying to figure out which one's latest. And it's navigated to... Well, okay, it figured it out. I wasn't explicit enough to tell it to like click into the latest blog post. So instead, you can see the latest blog post on BotBro.io is titled BotBro 2.0. It's finally here, which is correct. So it did what I told it to do. Okay, so that's that. Obviously, that was a simple task, but you can see it worked with even some random website like this crazy BotBro.io, So you can kind of get your creative juices flowing of how this might be used for general botting purposes of like, oh, well, like, what if we told it to buy an item? Or what if we told it to, send me a notification whenever something's in stock? Yeah, you can kind of use it for whatever. It just comes down to your instructions, and you can, there are some other features that I'll like talk about, but you can get really creative with it. For instance, you can toggle it to repeat. And you can change it to say repeat every 10 seconds. And then from here, I could say, go to this product URL. I give it the product URL and check if it's in stock. If it isn't in stock, your job is over. If it is in stock, buy it, buy this many of it, use this shipping information, this payment information, whatever. And so that way it'll, since the repeat is toggled, it'll keep checking it, but it knows if it's not there, okay, my job's over. But then whenever it is in stock, it knows to buy it. And so you can kind of see how you can like piece together different use cases with that setting. Also throw out there, very key piece of BotBro is the concept of variables. So if I wanted to say, if I wanted it to do something with information that I'm not comfortable giving to like an AI model, like my credit card or something, which you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be comfortable doing that. If you're using one of these like cloud provider bots, I would be very wary of what information you're putting in them and where it's being stored. Just gonna say it right now, like nothing is stored for BotBro. All of this is locally stored. So your variables are locally stored, your settings are locally stored. None of these logs are sent to me. This is like it's completely private. It's all just stored on your computer. You can go to like the BotBro folder and you can see where I'm storing the settings, where I'm storing the variables, and all that stuff. And that's by design because in theory you'll be putting in potentially sensitive information like your credit card stuff into this, and I shouldn't be storing that on a server, and no one else should be either. So just for example, let's say that I want to put my phone number in here, and then I want to make it not my actual phone number because I also don't trust you guys, but just a random phone number. And we add it. We now have this variable. And in my prompt, I can say, search Google for my phone number. And I will just reference the exact name of the variable that I put. This is where BotBro can, and we'll just to illustrate how that works, I've started the task search Google for my phone number, and you can see right there it swapped out my phone number variable for what I gave it. That might seem whatever, no big deal. Why is that important? What happened here is that I sent to the AI model. Let's see if it can figure it out. Okay, you can see here the goal: extract the content related to phone number, whatever, from the search results. You can see what actually got sent to the AI model is just the variable, and it's wrapped in these secret tags. And then whenever BotBro's doing the actual work of like executing those commands on the page, it'll swap in the right value. So your stuff never gets sent to any weird server, and you can use it in your prompts. I hope that makes sense. I'll leave it there to avoid like boring anyone with that if you're like, yeah, I get it. So the point is you can put in your username, your password, your credit card information, your address, whatever you need to get through whatever checkout process you have going out there, you can put in this. And it's because it's running locally on your computer, because it's not being stored, you're good to go. So I'll throw that out there. And then let's also look at the settings tab. Over here, you have some high level settings. Before you can use BotBro at all, you'll have to put in the API key for whatever model you want to use. So I typically prefer to use GPT-4o Mini because it's a little bit faster than 4o. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. You can experiment with other models. Like all of these are supported. So then some other settings. So enable vision capabilities. This basically lets BotBro screenshot your screen and send that to the model. If you're using a multimodal model like 4o, then you can toggle this, and it will generally help with the accuracy of what it's doing because it can actually see the page versus just like pulling the HTML out of it. So that can help with accuracy. It will run slower though. Maximum steps. If you want to give your bot, say, a maximum of 30 steps or whatever, so that it doesn't accidentally get caught in an infinite loop where it's like, the next thing I need to do is this, and the next thing I need to do is this, without ever actually ending, give it maximum steps. If it gets past that, it will kill itself immediately. Probably, I feel like I'm gonna get flagged for saying that. You can write a system prompt. A system prompt will just be used in conjunction with this prompt. So if, for example, you wanted, no matter what thing you were asking it to, if you always wanted it to say like text you when it was done, you could add that in here so that you don't have to rewrite it every time you change this prompt. Some browser settings. Headless mode means that it will run in the background. So if I start this, because I checked the headless mode, it will be running. You'll probably see the logs start to change here in a second. Yeah, so it's doing some stuff, but the browser window isn't open because we're running it in headless mode. So that's what that is. If you want to get the browser out of your way, some basic stuff like this is all really just visual stuff. Window width, window height. This is for the window that it opens. Highlight elements. This is that little like handy dandy, colorful boxes that pop up over the UI. It's really just for your own viewing pleasure. Viewport expansion. This is kind of important. Typically, it's fine to leave it at default. This is how much outside of what is on the page your bot is looking at. So generally, I wouldn't worry about this, but if you're noticing your bot isn't finding all the elements on the page, bump this number up, and that should fix it. Chrome path settings. So this is really important, and I would actually encourage you to use this if you're using it to try to buy a product from something like Target or Amazon where you have an account. You can take the path of your Google Chrome, where presumably you are like already logged in. You have like familiar cookies and stuff that don't look as suspect as the random browser that this thing opens. So basically, you paste in your Chrome path, which this placeholder value is what it defaults to if you're on Windows. And then close out all your open Chrome tabs and things. But then if you run the bot with your Chrome path in this, it will open your Chrome and control it. And again, that's helpful because you can already be signed into stuff so that the bot doesn't have to do that. And it's much less likely to get caught by a CAPTCHA or something because it looks nearly identical to like a normal user. Because it has the cookies, it has like the headers that are sent on request. Like it's just because it's actually your browser, it looks more familiar. And then last thing, this enable SMS notifications. If you do try to use the feature of you put in your phone number and you tell it to like text you whenever it does something, you'll need to have this checked. Otherwise, it won't be able to do it. I had to include this to get like approved. Little fun fact. If you're trying to send text messages from an application, there's like regulations now to where you have to have it like opt in somewhere where you're like where you're asking for consent to text people. So that's what that is. If you want notification settings, you have to come in here and check that bad boy. So that's the high level. I will leave it here for now, I guess. Please, if you have like specific questions and things, definitely drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer any of them. This is probably the first of like a handful of instructional videos that I'll put out there. I wanted this one to be more broad, but I'll make some with making bots for specific websites like Target, Amazon, Best Buy, whatever. But again, I want to throw out there, this can work on any website. So you're not limited to those large retailers. Yeah, whatever. I'll end it there. Appreciate you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video, I guess. Thanks all.